Gruesome Magazine.
Hello once again, I am your host, Doc Rotten, and this is Gruesome Magazine, where we review the very latest in streaming and video on-demand horror movies. Each week, my co-hosts Jeff Mohr, Crystal Cleveland, Christopher G. Mohr, and myself will take a look at very spooky, scary, and gory genre offerings. Tonight, we are reviewing UNHUMAN, a 2022 horror film from director Marcus Dunstan. All right, with me this week is my co-host Jeff Mohr. Jeff, how are you doing, sir?
I'm feeling partially human, not totally unhuman, but partial.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I get it. All right. Also joining this week is Crystal Cleveland, the living dead girl. How are you?
I never have a witty hello or any. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm like, hi.
I don't either.
I'm good.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful.
And then Christopher comes behind and does something. No
from
pressure.
From behind. All right. Here comes award-winning filmmaker from behind, Christopher G. Mohr.
That just sounded all kinds of naughty. And here I was going to say, I'm the fun human.
Oh, I love it. That's very Christopher.
But now I don't feel so fun because you made me feel so dirty.
Now he feels like a fun.
Are you saying that from behind isn't fun? Because I think a lot of people would differ.
That would be much more entertaining than what I watched. Bury the lead.
Where's the restart button, ladies and gentlemen? All right, we are here.
Doc, this is no longer the decades of horror of the 70s.
Oh, no.
Did something happen? Did I miss it?
No.
Yes.
All right, we are here to review the film UNHUMAN. We're going to start off giving our first impressions. Some of us already have, thank you. Yes. And then we'll dive into our thoughts. The first impression will be spoiler-free. Mm-hmm. Our thoughts will get into spoilers. There aren't really many, but there are some that they want to have.
Yeah,
and then we'll wrap things up with our final thoughts, our score 1 to 5, and our favorite scene. And of course, we hope you enjoyed not only this review, but many others that we have on the site. And if you like what you see and hear, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share with a friend. It will do wonders for us, and we will thank you so graciously. And then, of course, we'd love to hear your comments down below. Let's take a look at the card, shall we? UNHUMAN from EPIX and Blumhouse. Available on digital starting June 3rd, 2022. Directed by Marcus Dunstan. Written by Marcus Dunstan along with Patrick Melton. The cast includes Brienne Zhu. I've mispronounced that. I apologize. Drew Sheed. I've mispronounced that as well. I'm just not doing good. Araya Shelton.
I think that sounds about right.
All right.
So
well, thank
far,
you.
Yeah,
okay. I'll go with that. Benjamin Wadsworth. Joshua Michael, Peter Giles, Angela Elise Spitale. I'm going to go with the Italian go on that one. Lo Graham, Ali Gallo, CJ LeBlanc, and Blake Burt.
You started off well.
Says you, but I thank you. Synopsis: a group of high school students whose school bus crashes on a field trip. Relationships, that's not even a sentence. Relationships are tested once they realize they are being stalked by an attacker who intends to drive them out and straight into a horrifying fight to survive. UNHUMAN.
Okay. The
dead will have this club for breakfast. Oh, that I just got that. That's sour. That was sour. All right, let's get into this. What were our first impression? And Jeff Mohr, sir, you are up first.
Well,
Yeah.
So this is directed by Marcus Dunstan, as you said, who did one of the Into the Dark series that we liked, The Pilgrim.
Oh yeah.
And the Collector series of movies. But I don't think. First impressions. My love of teenage angst movies. Not. So this isn't for me. So the first bunch of it, I was just kind of like, oh, not this again. But it takes a turn later on. So I was kind of okay with where it went. There's sort of a twist in the middle. I don't know how big of a twist is. I'm sure the longtime horror fans are going to kind of catch it ahead of time. But what can I say? I don't know. I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it.
Enjoyed it, but didn't love it. You know,
It's got some problems. It's got some problems. So
I can get behind that. Crystal, you're up next. What was your first impression of Unhuman?
Okay, so this is an interesting one. When it started off, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. I will say that they fleshed out the characters. The characters are very stereotypical. I think this movie was supposed to be, well, it's definitely an homage to 80s horror movies. I mean, there's quite a few references along the way throughout the movie that are obvious. Some are more obvious than others. I think that, unfortunately, as much as I really did enjoy most of the cast, the lead actress was actually I felt like she was one of the weaker ones, which is so unfortunate. Yeah, that was too. I just didn't feel her power. She didn't command the screen. Some of the other characters, unfortunately, I feel like stole the spotlight from her. So that detracted from me enjoying her and liking her. Some of the character motivations were strange at times. The interactions between some of the characters were like they'd go from one extreme to the next, and it didn't seem to make sense. Nothing was very consistent there. However, I will say that I enjoyed the way the movie was shot. I really did kind of like the story. I liked the twist. I liked the way that it played out. I liked, some of the gore and stuff. So, I mean, I found myself entertained, and I feel like there was a lot of action going on. I just feel like there were just some weak parts of this. But overall, I was entertained.
Okay. Well, that's a good part of the film, right?
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Christopher G. Mohr, sir. Well, what was your first impression of Unhuman?
I guess my first impression, to steal a line from the movie, what in the uppercase fuck was that?
No, that line actually,
which is actually my favorite line of the movie, but that's how I felt because here's the thing, I'm one of the people that grew up and loved a lot of the 80s type films, and this definitely feels like it has elements of like Breakfast Club. It has elements of, if you guys know about Savage Steve Holland, you like Better Off Dead and One Crazy Summer. It has those kind of elements. It has tropes that feels like they haven't changed from the 80s when it comes to characters. And as much as I'd love to use the excuse that Jeff uses where it's like, oh, I don't think this movie was made for my age bracket. That doesn't make an excuse for telling bad stories. It's some of the worst editing I've seen in a while. It can't pick a lane with how it wants to tell its story. For instance, at first I was kind of confused because at the very beginning it's like Blumhouse after school special or whatever, and I was like,
yes,
I thought it was like a fake trailer or something, but no, this is the movie. And I was like, but there's a scene where, and this isn't spoiling anything, where basically the main character is talking to her mom, and it's a very simple scene in a kitchen, and they literally use like 15 different shots from different angles for no obvious reason other than just to be annoying. It's almost like, well, I can't say any spoilers, but it's almost like someone took drugs and edited the film. And then later on, it's like there's parts where they're trying. I mean, it feels like a movie that didn't have I mean, I guess it's for EPIX, so I guess I could say this, but it's like it feels like a TV movie where they didn't have a budget to film certain scenarios or scenes. Because there's a part where the bus crashes, and there's some really bad edited scenes that don't flow at all. And then there's moments where it goes into Scott Pilgrimville
Yeah.
for no reason other than just like, oh, it'd be cool to do this. And it's just, and I mean, it's like Breakfast Club meets April Fool's Day.
Wow.
That's interesting.
It's got so many different things, and then there's like a whole without giving anything away, there's a whole Saw thing where it's like, oh, let's explain everything because we can't tell the story to tell you for you, and it's like I felt like it was like 25% of the movie was
They're
explaining.
long. Oh my god!
And I was
so
like,
long.
there's really no reason. That's just bad screenwriting. Okay, I felt like the characters were just characters, and they annoyed me. The main character annoyed me too because I feel like, but then I guess the way the story plays out, the way reasons people make decisions and stuff, the twist kind of informs that because there's like they're running around this building. Looks like it was haunted house at Horror Nights.
Yeah.
Which, but I don't know. There's just so many things that are very disjointed and stupid. And for something to be like, so supposed to be violent or whatever, you don't see anything, but at the same time, there's probably reasons behind that. But anyway, this film annoyed me. I was not entertained. I was annoyed.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I was so annoyed. I
that,
might as well
though.
go back to like the 90s and become the Noid from Domino's Pizza. Because I was just so annoyed by this film. Because there's like so many people put effort to make something, and their effort was for naught. It's a waste of videotape. Well, no, I don't want to say that. I mean, they tried. I'll give them that much. They tried. There's some cool shots here and there, but again, it's all disjointed, and the characters don't make sense, and it's like, I don't know. Maybe you just want to go back and watch 80s, teen movies, which I can appreciate a lot more than this. It just felt like they just try to throw everything into a movie because they thought it would be cool, and it's not.
It's not,
in my opinion.
Yeah, and the writers, just so you know, the writers are behind. You were saying Saw. They were behind Saw 4, 5, 6, and the final chapter. They are also behind The Feast, the 3 films, The Feast, and Piranha 3 Double D.
There you go.
They both wrote those films, in addition to the ones that they directed. So there's that. So I actually am a big fan of the collection and the collector.
Yeah.
So and of course we like the Into the Dark episode. I forgot about that.
Love Pilgrim.
Yeah. So I like these guys, and I like because they were part of that Project Greenlight thing for the Feast. That's all.
I know. I actually I think I watched that season.
Yeah. So there's stuff to admire about their careers. And I was looking forward to this. And I also want to see the Collected. They, talked about doing the Collected, and that thing kind of got sunk by the COVID, kind of took that out from under them. But so I was looking forward to this. I was like, oh, wow, this is going to be good. It looks like a zombie flick. This is going to be fun. I didn't like this movie. I was kind of on board. I wasn't really enjoying it. I didn't know why, but I wasn't hating it. I was like Crystal, I think I was entertained enough, but then it does a twist, and I was kind of offended by the twist. I didn't really enjoy the twist. I thought it was I just didn't like it. I didn't like it. And I will be, I will admit that it's probably the day I watched it was probably the worst day to watch a film about students trying to, when we get to the twist, right? So that's unfortunate, but I don't know. It didn't gel, and I didn't really get it until you were saying it, that these, the characters pick a lane is a great way to put it. It was all over the place, and I didn't really think about that. It had a number of different approaches to the characters and stuff that didn't gel together, and their motivations didn't always gel. And
well, they didn't treat each other the same either. It's like all of a sudden one character would just get mad at another character, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense as to why the.
Right. And then this another character pops up, and there's a whole backstory between him and one character, which isn't really fleshed out very well. To bring that into it, you kind of have to presume a lot, and then they try to explain it later, and it just it falls to the wayside.
I'm not sure if which one you're talking about.
The bully guy, and the one that got the last one that comes out of nowhere in the house, and
oh, that's just supposed to be funny. It's a joke.
But it was no. But it wasn't.
Yeah, because it was Fat Camp. That's funny.
Okay.
I mean,
right.
it's trying to be an 80s movie. That's the whole thing. It's trying to make that formula, and yes, it failed in some regards. I didn't hate it as much as y'all did, though.
Well, hate's probably too strong a word, but dislike is definitely on the table. Christopher, you did hate it though, right?
I did hate it, yes. I agree. I mean, it just made me realize, like movies like Spontaneous, I feel like do a better job of creating like the 80s vibe of and this I don't know, and also it's just like there's just an it felt like people that didn't know how to shoot action or shoot certain scenarios, because there's scenes where they just keep doing this slow motion and the same shots again, and like, oh, and let's do I mean, it's like they kept doing it over and over. It just made me like, okay, we need to make this film an hour and a half, so let's keep adding on. So it slowed down the action so much, it kind of sucked the energy out of some of the action scenes, because it
did feel padded. Yeah,
it was like stretched out, and it's like, just get to it, and granted, again, I mean, with the big twist,
we're in spoilers, so if you want to go for it,
the big twist, once you realize that there's certain people who have created the scenario, which is made kind of obvious when they go into the whole room with like freaking mannequins, everybody painted. What would happen if somebody was sick the day of the bus trip?
That was a poorly planned.
But then it's like, there's no logic. Just because you've been injected with a drug doesn't mean you're going to fall from 2 stories and not die.
Yeah.
There's just certain things that don't make a lot of sense when it comes to them. I mean, this felt like the A-Team, where it's like, we got to make sure everybody survives. So we're just going to show them all alive in the end. This felt like Nickelodeon trying to make an adult film.
I think that's why they put the after school. I think that's how it's supposed to be, and that's why they had the after school special thing at the beginning. I think.
Well, then they don't understand what an after school special is then, because it doesn't work. Because again, it becomes different. It becomes different films at different times. Like I've never rolled my eyes so much with the very end fight scene, like. They're all standing there with the light behind them, and then and they got all these like.
I can't, but they can.
Oh,
yeah.
Like
it was a little cringy. It was cringy. It was cringy. I'll give you that.
Like,
it's
let
cringy.
me drop my weapon and hit you with my fist. It's like, use your weapon.
But a lot of the reason why I didn't like some of that stuff is because I really wanted to like the lead, but I just didn't like her. I think the problem is the dude who played Randall. I liked him way more. The bad guy. I was like, he's way more powerful on screen.
Well, and the sad part is, I think I don't know if you. I mean, I think when I saw the trailer for this, I was excited about seeing it because I love horror comedies, and I felt like, okay, this looks a lot of fun. And actually, one of the kids. He's the sidekick to the main villain. He's actually, I've seen him perform as part of an improv group.
Cool.
Pineapple Shaped Lamps out of Wilmington. I've seen him perform at conventions. And so now it's kind of cool seeing him pop in.
He was in Halloween, right?
And he was in Halloween. He was in his Stranger Things. Because he's shooting a lot of stuff in Atlanta. And it's kind of cool to see him in these parts and stuff. Somebody that I sat and watched some dude play goofy characters on stage in Charlotte. At Con Carolina, so it's kind of cool. So it's kind then, but then same. It's kind of sad because I feel like I feel like some of the dialogue, like half the dialogue is people saying, "I'm sorry, are you okay?" and then there's other parts where they try to be witty, and I almost wish that they would just amp it up and be more witty, like the whole like what in the uppercase fuck,
That was a good line. That was a good
go the Clueless route if you have to. But I don't know, it just felt like they tried to do all these different things into one film, and it just made it even more disjointed and disconnected from what the story is. And then I don't know, that whole twist, just am not gone wrong type twist and I think with now I'm just like,
and the way they filmed it with her, kind of watching it, which I thought was a good idea, but it just it made that, because they would cut to her for a long period of time, and it just made that exposition feel like it was so long. And an exposition like that needs to come in.
Long.
You need to get in there and get out, fill us in and get on with the story.
I felt like somebody was
reading
the book that it was based on. it felt like a whole book explanation as opposed to something in a movie that should have been much smaller. And to bring a character like 75% into the movie and then like, oh, this is who this character is, and that's not really, other than just like, ooh, we saw a glimpse of him near the bus.
Need to be a little bit more interactive.
But that part I think was irrelevant anyway. Like her knowing who that guy was irrelevant. That didn't matter. He was some rando, and that's okay. It's okay for him to just be a rando. Sometimes you have to let things. Well, and also you should let I totally agree with you on this point. The exposition was vomiting all over me. But I think there would have been better. Yeah, there would have been better ways to do this. Show, not tell.
Oh my God, so much so, yes.
Yeah, and honestly, it's okay to let the audience imply some things or figure out things on our own. We're not.
It was a little heavy. What do you think, Jeff? Was the exposition? Did that even bother you, or were you kind of like skating along?
I did. It wasn't the exposition that bothered me. I wanted to say something about Brianna Chu as the lead female. I felt like it was two different movies. Like the first half of the movie, when she's playing the sort of timid, hesitant, stuttering. I mean, it wasn't a stutter, but she just had a hard time. I thought that was terrible. Later in the movie, I thought she did better. I kind of liked, there was a couple of sequences where there was things going on in multiple locations, and I kind of liked when they were switching back and forth between those. I enjoyed that. I thought it kept it ramped up, and it sort of gave me a feel for what was happening at the same time. So I enjoyed that. But Christopher is absolutely right. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, yeah, you fall out this 3-story building and you're like, multiple bones are obviously broken, but somehow or another, because they gave you this drug, you're not okay, but he wasn't like he was at the laying on the ground, neither one of them. So, and then I don't know what the one thing was where, you think he's beating the guy's head to a pulp. Was it like a foam rubber?
Well, yeah, that's
club or something. And the other people are watching it, looking horrified. And then later, the guy's walking around and he's fine.
That stuff. I think I think they just worked. They were trying too hard to sort of hide the whole twist that none of it makes sense. I think in a normal world, if you put people through the hell of something like this, you're gonna go to jail. You're not gonna win the girls at the end. That doesn't make any sense at all. So I mean, there's just the whole story does not make sense, And there's there's so many people who got hurt really badly, and then it ends, and then they take forever to leave.
Well, and they don't. Yeah, and they don't. There's that old trope where these people are obviously trying to kill you. It seems like. I mean,
yeah.
But when it's your turn, you don't finish them off. You just sort of beat them up a little bit and then stand there and triumphant while they crawl over to pick up the sword again. I'm like,
In this case,
I don't know.
literally.
Well,
right?
he even slashed the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, he probably would be bled to death before they got him back to the school. So I don't know. There's just so many things that don't make a lot of sense. It literally, I feel like whatever they injected the people in the movie, they injected to the people making the movie, because it doesn't. It looks like it was made by zombies.
Well, they call these guys, they call them meth heads, but that you have this green glowy stuff that
Like Reanimator.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it felt like
And your
that.
eye, one of your
yeah,
eyes
yes.
turns
Okay,
red.
okay, but you know what? A missed opportunity was the Freddy glove. I can't
yes,
believe.
I thought the glove was cool.
I was like the Freddy glove, like
Yeah.
why
I was
didn't
like
that
with
do
the
something more
drug thing.
drastic?
You saw it for like 2 seconds, and then they didn't use it, and I was like, "That
Well,
was
they used it once. They did use it once. Stuck it in the guy's head. Oh,
yeah."
But it was,
I
yeah, it was a
wanted
little.
more.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think everybody's gotten the idea. Jeff, do you want to go ahead and wrap your thoughts into your final thoughts?
Yeah, sure.
Let's
So
do that.
I'll go right along with that, in that the same stuff that they injected in the guy, that when he falls out of a building from 3 stories high, it magically melds his bones back together or something, and he goes running off screaming, is the stuff that when they injected it in the lead, she's out, she fights through it in like 10 minutes.
But then it comes back and then goes away and then comes back and goes away. Because when she was in front of the fence, she started to change again.
Yeah,
She got the
her
veins.
red eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then later she did again. So it's weird. It
I
wasn't.
must have missed that during the exposition or something.
There you go. There you go.
So this has got a lot of problems, but you know what? This is part of what Christopher didn't like about it, but it's colorful. There's a lot going on. I wasn't bored. I was a little irritated, but I wasn't bored. And there was, there's some cool sequences. Oh yeah. And guess what? There's no way in hell they got that bus out of there after they showed the crash.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just like, oh my God. So anyway, I'm going to go, this is going to be weird. I'm going to say 2.25.
Oh,
and
wow. Cheese and rice.
I will.
What?
I will also say my favorite scene is getting the bus out. So,
okay.
Because I'm just like going, are you kidding me? Anyway.
Okay. All right.
Hey, we could get the bus to run again.
Good luck. And they did it. All right, Crystal, your final thoughts, your score, and your favorite scene.
Okay, so clearly I was not nearly as bothered by this movie as y'all were. I'm giving it a 3. I mean, I think it was made decent. I get why things y'all didn't like. I guess I just wasn't. I don't know. I was just along for the ride, and I thought some of it was good, and it is what it is. I guess my favorite scene is actually it's toward the end fight where not the lead character, but the lead character's friend, who I really liked, she freaking knocks Randall for a loop. She's like, "You're my friend," and then she just, no hesitation, just knocks him. Boo! That made me really happy. I don't know why. I was like, oh,
cricket
like
bat,
she
right?
like she
cricket bat, yeah.
like she supported her friend, and I really appreciate that. I was like, yep. She didn't even hesitate. She's like, yep, I got your back, girl. And so, yep.
That was a part of the story, right? So,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right, Christopher G. Mohr, your final thoughts. Oh my God, your favorite scene and your score 1 to 5.
The unhumanity. I did not like this.
You've been sitting on that one, I know.
If only they had me write the script. I did not like this film. 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 It's got a bad script. It's got bad characters. It's got bad editing. It's got bad. I mean, I will give it that they try to visually do some stuff, but it doesn't work. It's you know, it's like, you know, just because you put glitter in your poop, it's still poop.
Yeah.
And the story doesn't make any sense. You know, and yeah, I mean, they try to do a lot of split screen stuff. They try to do.
They do.
I'm trying to be nice.
That was a little crazy.
You just put glitter in poop, so
I know. I just
there's no nice left.
I don't have a filter, and maybe that's not good for podcasting. I did not like this. I was not entertained. I was annoyed, and maybe it's just the filmmaker in me. It just felt like so discombobulated. Mm-hmm. And I felt like that I felt like I was the survivor, like they were. I felt like I was put through some kind of gauntlet of like, this doesn't make sense. This character's motivation doesn't make sense. This story doesn't make sense. Oh my God. Why do we have 25% of the movie based on exposition? Like, you know, if you expanded all the little explanations in Saw movies, everything just it doesn't connect. It's different things. It's like taking 10 different puzzles and trying to piece them all into one thing. It's not going to work. And as much as they may have loved films from the 80s, or it felt like they were trying to make an 80s Breakfast Club type film, but with 90s annoying characters. And I don't know. I'm going to stop talking. Because I'm going to probably say something worse.
Score.
We got
a score here.
I'm giving it a 1.25.
Whoa!
There's the more I think about this, and the more I make it mad. I don't want to think about it anymore.
I get it.
And don't even get me started about how certain things may relate to stuff in our world right now. But as for favorite scene, I'll say the one part that I actually laughed at is the very end when the gym teacher pops up.
Oh
yeah. That was probably the one part that I actually laughed. I felt like his character. I didn't like his character, but I think when he popped in, it made me laugh because I wasn't expecting it. And secondly, I felt like he embodied how I felt. You know me. I'm usually very passionate about how I like something, and sometimes it's hard for me to not. If I don't like something, it's hard for me to not say how I feel. So
yeah.
Anyway, that was my favorite thing. So.
There you go.
Oh well.
I expect more from my Mark Dunstan, and yeah, I expect more from them. I'm disappointed in this film. It's not that I am mad. I'm just disappointed. Throw that one in there. Now I was actually enjoying it until the twist, and the twist really rubbed me the wrong way. And I get where they were going. I mean, they were committed to it. It's a story and everything, but it just really rubbed me the wrong way. And that's unfortunate. But I really didn't realize why I wasn't really into it as much until then, because I actually liked the cast a little bit more. I thought Brienne was actually better than you guys did. I get where you're coming from, but I don't know. For some reason, I was enjoying her character. But like I said, like you guys said, the Raya Shelton and Drew Scheid, they were stronger. They were good. So I don't know. The film's all over the place. It's a bit clunky. It relies on that big exposition scene in the middle to kind of propel it, and the characters are way too one-dimensional. They're just stereotypes and flat, and they try that. I mean, they do have moments where they break out of that, but then they just fall right back into being the flat characters, which was unfortunate. and I'll throw my example of that into my favorite scene here in a second. So unfortunately, I didn't enjoy this, but I did enjoy it more than you, Christopher. So I was going to give it a 2.75. And I feel like I kind of agree with Christopher, so I feel like I'm being generous with that. And so my favorite scene is actually a character scene. It's a scene between Drew's character and Brienne's character, and where they are about to kiss, and kind of, they were kind of relating to each other and getting, it was a sweet little moment, and I was enjoying it. I was like, oh, okay, let's go here. But then they flip-flopped it after that shortly. which only made the Drew character that much better. It didn't help her character, but it made his character that much better. And I was, from then on, it was actually Drew's character that stood out. The one that was second guessing his own actions. And I thought his character actually became a better character because of that scene, and not her. But I don't think that was the intention. I think the intention was to round her out, and I don't think it worked. But there you go. I'll go with that.
Yay.
I feel bad.
I've had 4 hours of sleep, so maybe I'm delusional.
No, I mean, I see what y'all are saying. I guess I just wasn't as bothered by it. And I think the movie was competent enough. Like, I'll give a movie that I feel is competent 2.5, because, it's better than average.
I do wish I'd watched it earlier, like a week earlier or something.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Timing matters.
It does matter. And it was literally the worst time for me to watch the film after all the news that night. So, and I had no idea I was stepping into that. So that's part of why that twist, which probably would have worked a week earlier, or maybe, who knows? I mean,
it did. I think also that's where I felt like it might have been influenced by April Fool's Day as well.
There is that. When you said it, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Mm.
I was like, why April Fool's? Oh yeah. April Fool's is a much better movie. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, I agree. So much.
And Dave is going to be so mad at us because I know Dave likes this movie. I know he probably will like this movie.
He likes Marcus Dunstan a lot, doesn't he?
Yeah, he likes that. And I like their films. This one not, but I like their other films.
You win some, you lose some.
Yeah.
Yep.
The collection.
Oh,
some of the best films.
Sometimes we all can't hit it out of the park.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
can't make great films all the time.
Yeah.
At least for some.
So there you go. That's our review for Unhuman. It is out beginning. Let's see. I have to pull the card up because I don't have it in my notes. So June 3rd. So check that out and leave us some comments down below. Tell us how wrong we are. Obviously, we're recording this earlier because if you're catching this closer to June 3rd, time has passed. But I'm stating the obvious, am I not? Yes.
Send all your evil comments to me. All the people who end up loving this. I'm sure there's people that'll love it. I mean, it's got
I think so.
I think age bracket wise, I think there might be young people who may like the wackiness. Sort of like some of the 80s stuff, which is some people like, oh, that's stupid. And this has that, but
I could be convinced of the audience not intended for.
Well, I've watched some Giallo films recently, and it's kind of changed my viewpoint of Malignant. So
what?
Wow.
What? Oh my gosh. Ew. No. No.
I'm not saying fully.
No.
But
I
do see where he's coming from. I still don't think it's a good film, but I do see where he's coming from.
You guys are so wrong. All right. That's our review for Unhuman. Leave us a comment down below. Crystal, Christopher, Jeff, thank you for joining me. This is a lot of fun.
You're welcome.
Let's say good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye-bye.